So the burial of musician Bernard Onyango, also known as Abenny Jachiga, has set the stage for a very important conversation. In what appears to be a trend of double standards, some burials have been subjected to strict containment measures, while others have had to have the leeway to mourn and bury without restrictions. Well, just what are the guidelines for burials for those who did not die of COVID-19? Dorcas Wangira tells us more.
When a grieving mother, the late musician Abenny Jachiga's mother, Monica Auma, sits on her son's fresh grave to stop mourners from exhuming his body in Kolwa East Kisumu County. The writing is on the wall for burials as we have always known them. Ohangla musician Bernard Onyango, popularly known as Abenny Jachiga, was laid to rest Saturday at 2:30 a.m. when the burial intended for Friday morning aborted. Mourners and fans in their hundreds overwhelmed police officers to stop their interment ceremony for violating their traditions. They defied all containment measures and demanded to be given more time to mourn their music maestro who died on Wednesday, reportedly of pneumonia. In the end, Jachiga was buried, devoid of the loud mourning and weeping for days. No lying in the compound, no bonfires lit in the homestead, and no crying. The slaughter of animals and the preparation and serving of food for the mourners. Among the Luo community, it takes at least a week for an adult to be mourned before their interment.
So we are just begging the officers, police officers, at least give us chance to mourn our brothers.
On the same day, legendary musician famous for his twist performance, Angelique and Habariza Nairobi songs John Zenze, was also interred in Luciola, Vihiga. Zenze died on May 30th at the age of 80 after battling prostate cancer and is being laid to rest 15 days later. Hundreds thronged the burial at his home to give him a befitting send-off. While the government has given clear guidelines for burials for COVID-19 deaths, the burial for 9 COVID-19 deaths are still a grey area, with no clear-cut protocol and rules to be applied at the authorities' whim. While some families have been forced to bury their loved ones within 48 hours, they have to obtain burial permits to travel with the bodies, chiefs and OCS letters, and there are restrictions of not more than 5 persons in the hearse. While burials shall have no more than 15 people as part of the containment measures, this has not always been the case for some. Some mourners have had to adhere to stringent measures under the keen watchful eye of the police. Charles Mwenda's harrowing experience of spending the night in the cold, being rained on with his casket bearing the body of his late wife, who died of cancer, still angers Kenyans. His friends and relatives, including his mother and children, who had travelled all the way from Malindi, were turned back a few kilometers from their home. They could not attend the burial. The government is on the spot for applying double standards in the enforcement of COVID-19 prevention protocols, preferential treatment being given to powerful and well-connected individuals. Friday, June 5th in Mukurweini, Nyeri County, more than 400 people were allowed to attend the funeral of a retired teacher. This happened at Mutwewatu Primary School grounds right under the watch of police, leaders and senior Ministry of Health officials at the front line of advocating for restrictions in burials in attendance. Health Ministry Director General Dr. Patrick Amoth led a delegation from the ministry to represent CS Kagwe, who was also expected to attend the ceremony. The brother to Bungoma Senator Moses Wetangula was laid to rest at Muiweya village in Kabuchai constituency, Bungoma County. 48-year-old Anthony Waswa died in Nairobi on May 15th and was buried on May 21st. The burial of the late Waswa, whose death was a COVID-19 death, is said to have been attended by only 60 people and lasted only an hour. Hundreds of residents who had planned to attend the funeral were kept away as police cordoned off the home. Saturday, 13th June, Kenya has only recorded 100 COVID-19 deaths. More people are dying from other causes. Should they be hurriedly buried? Conflicting directives are being given by different counties.
We will instead facilitate the communities to make sure that they dispose of that body as quick as possible.
We have agreed as a region that all funerals must happen within 24 hours of death.
Hearse drivers also tell us that they're being subjected to a lot of stigma and difficulty at every roadblock. Evan Sadaba adds that they're being treated as truck drivers, having to prove their COVID-19 status.
Kitu ya kwanza kama saa hii ukienda Kisumu County, hauruhusiwi hata kusimama kwa barabara ununue maji. Wanasema hawa ni watu wenye wamebeba maiti yenye imekufa na corona. Na unajua kawaida sisi hatuwezi ruhusiwa kubeba hiyo maiti yenye imekufa corona.
Moses Boyke is coming to terms with his brother's death by electrocution.
Watupatie muda at least mtu afike nyumbani ndio apewe decent burial. Sio eti hiyo ya kufurugana askari wanakuja ni kama mwizi wa ng'ombe you see.
Dorcas Wangera, Citizen TV, Nairobi.